Right now on ABC 10 News at 4 o'clock, powerful wind gusts sweep the county, knocking down trees with brute force. We're tracking a high wind warning. Plus, a hailstorm in Ramona and across other parts of the county, and heavy snowfall in our mountains, the areas that could see more than a foot of snow.
ABC 10 News at 4 starts now.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Kimberly Hunt, and this is the second of 3 storms we're tracking this week. We have team coverage on the winter storms. We begin with ABC 10 News reporter Jennifer Kastner. She is live by the OP Pier, which got hammered today by the high surf and winds and remains shut down. Jen?
Intense winds after a fierce winter storm hit the county hard overnight, bringing blustery conditions with heavy downpour and snow. Along the coast, massive, choppy waves pounded the beach. After sunrise, hail fell in San Carlos and other parts of the city. Extreme winds caused gusts of up to 60 miles per hour, bringing down a tall palm tree in Kensington this afternoon that narrowly missed cars and homes. A giant eucalyptus tree crashed across lanes along North Torrey Pines Drive earlier. Crews had to chop it up to get the street reopened. And in Spring Valley overnight, a tree toppled over on cars that fortunately didn't have anyone inside. And in OB, a tree crashed down on a parked car. That intense wind also causing this carport to collapse onto about a dozen cars in Point Loma. A tree fell on the side of the roof, causing it to crash down. Some neighbors said the sound woke them up.
I was asleep, and it sounded like ice falling off a building, like continuous, like I just feel terrible for the people whose cars just got crushed by this.
There were no reports of any injuries.
While rain and strong winds hit the coast and inland areas, the mountains got hit with several inches of snow from Mount Laguna to Julian. And that's where ABC 10 News reporter Jared Aarons is live this afternoon. Jared, welcome sight for the businesses there that have struggled during the pandemic.
Very much so, Kimberly. 3 inches in the last 24 hours here in Julian. You know, news people like us, we like to call this the white stuff. But for the business owners here in Julian, it's got them seeing green, because when the snow falls, people flock for the apple pie, the cider, and like these guys, a day of play here in the snow. Now, keeping everything safe for people is a full-time chore. Shoveling sidewalks, sweeping decks throughout the day. It was actually so busy this morning that the Julian Cafe and Bakery sold out of their first batch of pies before noon. And with 3 storms blowing through this week, businesses here in Julian expect to be busy for days. That helps make up some of the money that they lost because of the coronavirus pandemic restrictions.
We want them to, respect our privacy, respect our private property, and go by the social distancing rules and the masks, but it means a lot to us, the small businesses here in town, to have the people come up and shop in our stores. It means a great deal.
Now you can see snow is still falling here in Julian. We expect more overnight. They have been plowing these streets all afternoon. Coming up at 5 o'clock, we'll show you how some of the families who came up for that day of fun made the most of their time in the snow. Live in Julian, Jared Aarons, ABC 10 News.
Thank you, Jared. Main Street always so pretty in the snow. We appreciate that. ABC 10 News meteorologist Angelica Campos is tracking this storm, which is bringing more rain. Hi, Angelica.
That's right, Kim. It is going to bring areas of showers, additional snow for tonight, and it's still going to keep that wind also into the overnight hours. So we have the triple punch with this storm, the most powerful system so far this winter, and it's actually producing some thunderstorms, some snow. You can see it. What you're actually seeing on the screen is the area of low pressure, and you can see how the bands wrap around. It's kind of hard to see with this white arrow, so I'll have to change and go with a different color here so you guys can see how those bands are wrapping around. And that's actually where the area of low low pressure is centered. So if I were to give it a location, it would be right here near Las Vegas. So we're going to see those bands wrapping around, and that's going to bring additional snow. So you can see here some thunderstorms are developing just to our north and some over the ocean. So there's a possibility that we may see some thunderstorms as well. Snow developing in the mountains, and it's going to be as low as 4,000 feet, where we could see anywhere from 1 to 3 inches, but even areas down to 2,500 feet could see a little bit of that snow. Showers just east of Ramona. It looks like right now most areas in the coastal communities are taking a bit of a break, but the winds are still howling, gusting up to 36 miles per hour in Carlsbad, Julian, Ramona. And we're going to continue tracking the high wind warning. We have a few other warnings to tell you about in your 7-day forecast. Will also include some of the rain totals, snow totals, and wind peaks because it's been very windy.
Yes, it certainly has. We'll check back in. Thank you, Angelica. The storm also forced the Vaccination Superstation in Petco Park to shut down today. It will remain closed through tomorrow morning. The county will monitor conditions tomorrow to see if the closure needs to be extended. The county says people who had appointments today will be rescheduled for Thursday. It says that you can check the reschedule appointment in your MyChart. All other vaccination sites remain open today. And keep track of the weather conditions in your neighborhood with our ABC 10 News mobile app. We'll also have continued coverage throughout this newscast. Now to some breaking news just coming in. House Democrats are delivering to the Senate the article of impeachment charging former President Donald Trump with inciting the deadly January 6th Capitol riot. This is a live look right now at the Capitol Rotunda, where lawmakers will walk those documents over. It will begin the process leading to Trump's second impeachment trial. And all 100 U.S. senators will be sworn in as jurors on Tuesday. And a summons will be formally issued to Donald Trump for his response, which will be due on February 2nd. The trial could start as early as February 9th. San Diego restaurants and gyms can once again open outside only. This morning, California Governor Gavin Newsom lifted the regional stay-at-home order. Here's ABC 10 News reporter Rachel Bianco with the projection that made the move possible, even though the state is still seeing record COVID deaths.
All regions effective immediately are no longer in the stay-at-home order.
Governor Gavin Newsom with an announcement that came as a surprise to many. The 5 regions ordered to shut down in early December will now go back to a tier-based system for reopening. That's the purple tier for San Diego. The governor initially said the restrictions on businesses would stay in place until ICU capacity reached 15%. But the governor says the decision is based on a projection of future demand.
Over a 4-week period. And we determine ICU capacity either meets or exceeds 15%.
It's projected that ICU capacity in Southern California will be around 33% by February 21st.
We're seeing a flattening of the curve. Everything that should be up is up. Everything that should be down is down. Case rates, positivity rates, hospitalizations, ICUs.
The move allows for gyms and restaurants to operate outside only. Hair and nail salons can provide indoor service with restrictions. San Diego County Supervisor Jim Desmond says it's a step in the right direction, but a little too late.
I'm glad to see them open today. I'm happy for that, but the lockdowns in my mind really didn't work.
Desmond believes the effort to recall the governor played a role in the decision.
Well, what happens when you mix politics and medicine, you get politics. So I think that definitely had some input.
Newsom quickly dismissed that idea.
Yeah, that's just complete, utter nonsense.
The governor also with a reminder that now is not the time to let your guard down. California is still seeing a record number of COVID-19 deaths. Rachel Bianco, ABC 10 News.
The governor also says California is doing better than much of the country with a statewide positivity rate of 8%. Within the past hour, county leaders spoke after the stay-at-home orders were lifted. ABC 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo is joining us now live. And Laura, the county spent a lot of time today explaining what the new purple tier looks like for us.
Kimberly, well, purple tier is where we were back in early December. It is still the state's most restrictive tier for coronavirus guidelines. And again, this is where we were back in early December, but it does mean that several businesses can once again continue operating outdoors. So let me break this down, what it means and what businesses can open starting now. This means restaurants, gyms, places of worship, and wineries can open outdoors only. Places like bars and breweries can open outdoors if they serve food. Now, San Diego County officials say restaurants will still have to close at a certain time, serving their last customer by 10 p.m. and closing by 11. Hair salons are also allowed to reopen indoors, but are still required to follow all health guidelines. One of the biggest changes this time around is live entertainment is now allowed also outdoors. Social distancing and mask use is required. Now, San Diego was put on the stay-at-home order back in December as cases were rising and the holidays were approaching. The county health officer agreed with the state's move today, but says we still need to be cautious.
And I think the move made today was a reasonable one, but we cannot rest on our laurels and not continue to do the preventive strategies that are necessary to continue to stave off our increased number of cases.
And just to give you an idea of what it would take to move San Diego from the purple tier into the less restrictive red tier, our case rate would have to be below 7.0 or below. And right now that number is at 49.6. So there is still a long way to go. Reporting live, Laura Acevedo, ABC 10 News.
Thank you, Laura. The state also created a website on which you can receive alerts about when you're eligible to get vaccinated and then easily schedule those with an appointment. We have a link to that on 10news.com. You can click on Resource Center tab.